Pedro Neto, Pep Chavarría, Nicolas Jackson, yeah, and Diogo Costa. 4 of the big names that are out there in terms of Chelsea transfer, right? 2 of those people could be coming in and 2 of those people could be getting out. Now, before we get into all of that, in terms of the details of the transfer, plus my opinion, right? You want to hear it? Welcome to Famous Football. I'm your host, Nate. Let's talk football. Now, Pedro Neto is another interesting one, right? I think everyone in the Chelsea fan base is sitting on the fence when it comes to Pedro Neto. Now, last season, I reported, you can go check the video out, right? When I first started this whole channel. I came out and I said, Pedro Neto, I wouldn't want to sell him because last season he was also on the market and Chelsea were possibly maybe looking to sell him or something like that. And I came out and I said, I would rather Chelsea keep him for 2 seasons. And there were 2 people that I mentioned that Chelsea keeps them for 2 seasons. That was Enzo Fernandez and Pedro Neto. And my reason being is this. Esteval, right, will have the opportunity to have played in the Premier League and then coin that as well, an opportunity to play in the Premier League for 1 season. And then they can kind of build up of that from that, right? But then you already have someone like Pedro Neto to kind of be able to help them get adjusted to the league. But now for what it seems right now, Xabi Alonso is focusing really heavily on Esteval. Now, it's been reported that even in training, you see Xabi Alonso, right, putting high emphasis on what's his name, Esteval, in terms of crosses, in terms of how he want him play, in terms of things he want Esteval doing, right? So it seems that he likes the player and he wants the player, like to actually be in his starting 11. And because of that, Pedro Neto could be out, right? Chelsea value him, but they also not against selling him. And I think that's where most of us, the fan base, that's where we are, right? We will want to keep Pedro Neto, but we also not against him leaving. That if he leave, it's not the end of the world. Now, let's look at what Fabrizio have to say, and then I will give you, the rest of my opinion. You already got half of it, right? Now, exclusive. Manchester City made direct contact with Pedro Neto camp as talk starts over possible move. Neto among Manchester City target if Savinho goes to Spurs, while he's also understood to be to be on Tottenham list as backup option. Deal also depend on Chelsea valuation. Now, let's read this one right here. Pedro Neto is seen as important part of Xabi Alonso's squad for next season, so the price tag will be key for any potential move. Okay? Now, let's add this last one to it, and then I will give you everything that I need to give you. Savinho is piling pressure on Manchester City to let him leave for Tottenham in a 60 million deal, right? So, the whole thing goes like this. If Savinho leave, City want to bring in Neto. Now, if Savinho doesn't go to Spurs, Spurs then have Neto as a backup. So for what it looks like right now, Neto will end up leaving at some point. Either he goes to Spurs or he goes to City. But Spurs' priority right now is Savinho. They want Savinho, right? And he also wants the move because he figure he can get maybe a bit more playing time over there. Spurs, Man City on the other hand wants Neto, considering the fact that Maresca has coaching and he will be very important to Maresca's system and the way Maresca try to play football. If you are at Chelsea or you're a Chelsea fan, you already know that, right? He likes that balance of defense and attack. Like he actually likes that balance. So it's like that's why Maresca was not for the whole free 10 roaming around. It's like there's no such thing as that in one of his like interviews and stuff, right? So he liked that proper balance, right? And Neto is that player that can offer you balance in attack and in defense. Now, emphasis to that or reference to that, when we play against PSG, you're almost like he was playing as a wingback. That's why some Chelsea fan, when Xabi Alonso came in, we look at Neto that he could potentially play in that particular system and play as a wingback, right? And which makes sense. So that's why most people are okay with him staying and also are okay with him leaving. But Neto going anywhere right now, it kind of depends. It seems that it depends on Savinho. So if Savinho leaves, then City comes in for him, right? But City definitely will want a healthy fee for him. And Chelsea also want a healthy fee for him. Chelsea value him around £75 million. But we hear also that Man City are willing to bid around 81 million euros or so, or pounds. And I think if they bid that particular bid, it will get accepted. and he will be off to Man City. And we also know, like Fabrizio reported and couple outlet also reported, that initial talks between his camp has started. Now, there's nothing concrete here. There's no club-to-club contact with Chelsea. There is no bid that has been put in, but talks have started, right? And I know if Maresca calls upon Neto, he definitely wants to be going. And now maybe if Man City comes in too, they can also start negotiation about other people, like the Neto, maybe Enzo Fernandez, right? And we know for Enzo Fernandez, his agent is supposed to meet with Chelsea for them to be able to discuss his future. If he's going to stay, and how that's going to be, because we know Fernandez want more money, right? If he's going to stay. And I don't know if Chelsea willing to offer him the money, right? And right now, it seems that nobody's actually coming in for him. Now, Caicedo spoke about him earlier, and Caicedo talked about, hey, he's okay. He wants him to stay. He's a good player. He respects him and all of that, right? But he doesn't want to kind of get into it. And that's pretty much where every one of us stands right now. If he wants to stay, great. Xabi Alonso wants him to stay. But if he don't want to stay as well, then he can go, right? Chelsea kind of have a plan here. If he doesn't stay, they're going to get Adam Wharton from Crystal Palace, which is in place to be, it's already in place. Like the talks and everything is already lined up. All they need to do once things happen, they just go splash. There's the money, and he's coming the other way, right? But let's see what happened with Pedro Neto and where he goes. Now, Spurs don't just have Pedro Neto on their shortlist, they also have another person on their shortlist from Chelsea. And that's, right, the big man called Nicolas Jackson. Tottenham are considering a move for Nicolas Jackson. Spurs have the Chelsea striker on their shortlist. Although no formal approach has been made between the clubs, at this stage, Chelsea valuation of Jackson is believed to be around 65 million. Now, you and myself, right, already know the valuation for Jackson. Since Villa been linked with Jackson, we know Chelsea value him around 65 million, right? And for what we've been hearing since, Villa is waiting, or Villa is willing to kind of break the bank for Jackson. They want him, which is good, which is okay for us, right? It's good and it's okay for us. Come get Jackson and all of that. So right now, I think Jackson looks like his favorite destination could be Villa, right? Or his most likely destination could be Villa. But now Spurs having him on his short list, right? This doesn't quite mean anything. He's just on their short list, right? But because we know Spurs looking to bring in two more attackers, and the names that have been mentioned are Osimhen and Savinho. Now, we already spoke of Savinho from Man City, that he's looking to go there as well, right? So he definitely do want the move. Now, Osimhen was another name that is mentioned, and they've been in contact with Galatasaray. So now, if Spurs cannot get any one of their preferred target or their intended target, then they might go look at their shortlist. So that's where the Pedro Neto and the Nicolas Jackson can come in handy. But with this, I don't see Nicolas Jackson as of yet. I don't see him going the other way until, right, maybe something concrete has happened. But for now, what it seems like, I think Villa could be his preferred destination. Not just his preferred destination, but his most likely destination. So we will keep our eyes out peeled for that. But listen, Nicolas Jackson, I saw a clip of like a shooting drill they were doing. Him, the lab, and then what's his name? Destin Stepaye, yeah, the new kid, right, from Kazakhstan. The lab score, the kid missed, shooting on his left foot, and then Jackson also, no pressure, nobody, nothing, also missed a goal. I'm looking at that, I'm going, listen, Jackson, there's nothing has changed. Like, Jackson combination play and all of this other stuff with Jackson are great. But it's his finishing, there was the problem. And his record at Chelsea, if you look at it, it's not bad. Like 30 goals in like 2 seasons, that's not the worst thing on the planet. Right? But if we just look at the amount of goals that this brother missed, is way too much. Way too much. Right? The opportunity that he just, I don't know, tarnished, I would say, it's way too much. But let's see what's happening with Jackson, right? Where he goes, where he ends up, and then we will see what happened with that. Now, let's talk about this guy, Chavarría. I actually thought this deal was done, because a few days ago, it was being reported from Spain, right, or the Spanish outlet, that it's done, 30 million, they agree, which is what I think they was looking for, Rayo Vallecano was looking for. Just is not looking to trigger the release clause that is around 40 something million. They're not looking to do that, right? So the release clause they're not looking to trigger it. But Chelsea was willing to, kind of negotiate. Now, Rayo Vallecano, on the other hand, is looking to settle around the 30 million mark, right? And Chelsea was kind of negotiating with that. But it came out that they have settled around the 30 million mark, 25 million plus add-ons. But apparently the deal is not done yet. And yes, David Ornstein. Guess what David Ornstein had to say about it? Chelsea on the verge of agreement with Rayo Vallecano to sign Pep Chavarría. Permission for 28 years old left back to take medical expected to be granted and personal term in place. Club on good terms as work advances to complete. Right? So we thought it was done. I thought it was done. Everyone thought it was done. Apparently, it's not done. It is not done. But now, the fact that they said medical is expected to be booked very soon, that simply means there has been significant, increase in terms of talk or advancement in terms of discussion. So we're happy with that because this deal and the Bruno Guimaraes deal has been one for the ages, yeah? Taking forever. We know what's his name, Xabi Alonso won this guy. Get it done. But it's been taking forever. And I think Rayo Vallecano is trying to milk Chelsea, and Chelsea don't want to be milked, right? So that's where we are with it. But now, one last one, right? The last one, pretty much the last one for the day, is this one. But I want you to take this one with an inch of salt, right? Because now, what's his name? Philip Jorgensen is off to Strasbourg on a season-long loan move, right? We know Chelsea would have preferred to sell him, but the fact that nobody is coming him to come and collect him, and I think Strasbourg is like the safety net, so he's kind of off to Strasbourg on a loan. Now, he gave his approval and all of that, so it's happening. That simply means a space has been open. Let's get into it, and I will give you more, right, in terms of my opinion. Chelsea are prepared to trigger Diogo Costa 60 million release clause to sign the Porto goalkeeper. Xabi Alonso has identified Costa as his final marquee signing of the summer rebuild and the missing piece in his squad at Stamford Bridge. Now, great. I would take him, but yesterday I also read somewhere, right, and I think I might have reported on that as well, right? You can go check that video out, that the interest in him is legit. But the report that is coming out in terms of advanced stock, in terms of deal almost being done, personal terms being agreed, all of that are not true. None of those things are true. Now, the interest is legit, but in terms of advanced stock is not true. So that's why I'm saying, let's take this one with an inch of salt, right? Jorgensen is out, but if Chelsea actually looking to bring it in, which I think they should, I'm 100% for it. It's an upgrade. His distribution is better. He's also a good shot stopper. His age is decent. He's been doing it consistently. Playing in the Champions League, playing at the highest level, won with Portugal and all of that. So great. I'm 100% for it. But what this means is this, right? Philip Jorgensen is not going to be the only person that's going to be out. No. Sanchez also going to be out because Sanchez has this thing going on with Chelsea that if I'm not the number one no more, then I want out, right? Like he's looking to get that regular minute. So I think he's going to come in and Sanchez might be out, right? But if he do come in, like I said, I'm 100% with it. Again, what's his name? Penders. This is also an opportunity for Penders to also learn from somebody of the elite level, right? That is high up there. Get the opportunity to be able to learn. Now he is a good goalkeeper. From what the little clip and here and there and what he's done at Strasbourg, it seems really good. So that's actually a really good move, right? But bringing him in, somebody that's been at the highest level, done that, give Penders the opportunity to be able to learn. Because I know Chelsea's long-term goal is to pull Penders between the sticks, right? So let's see how that turns out. But him, I would take him. But let me know your thoughts down below, ladies and gentlemen. Costa to Chelsea, would you take him, right? What's his name? Pedro Neto out the door. Nicolas Jackson out the door. What do you think about that? Pep Chavarría coming in as well. What's your thoughts about that? Let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Much appreciated. Don't forget to hit the like, hit the subscribe. See you in the next video. There's for sure more coming your way, right? Adios.